Radhakrishna Gopdesi. I would like to explain about the power plant engineering. So all of you know that power plant engineering means we need to generate the power first. Okay, so how we can generate the power? So nowadays the power plays a vital role in the every human life. So that means we need to know about the functioning of a power generation techniques. So here we can generate the power by using a different methods. Okay, among that we are using the steam power plant is the one technique. So just see here, one of the power plant operating technique here seen here. Okay, so see here, these are the main important components here. So the first thing is boiler. So this is the boiler concept, and next one is the turbine here, and this is the cooling tower. And next thing, the turbine is connected to a alternator. Okay, so these are the minimum things to generate the electrical power by using of a different techniques, and especially this is the geothermal energy sources. So on here, the main objective of this function is, so the main objective of a course objective is, it is aimed to the providing knowledge to the power generation technique to the students by using of a different prime movers. So what are the different types of prime movers? So first, and what is meant by prime mover? So prime mover is a device which develops the power. So generally we are using different types of prime movers. So see the examples here. One is the steam. So here we have different types of a prime movers. So one is the steam prime mover, that is a steam turbine, and second one is the ICGT. So ICGT means here, IC means internal combustion engines, and GT means the gas turbines. And next one is the hydro turbines. And next one is the nuclear power plants. And next one is the hybrid systems. Okay, so these are the main thing in here. We need to explain the students regarding the knowledge of a power generation techniques by using of a various prime movers. Okay, and next thing, so course structure here. So what is the course structure of a power plant engineering? So here, as per JNTUK, the course structure is designed as a 6 units. So each unit gives a brief explanation about. First unit gives a clarification regarding the steam power plant, and second thing is the internal combustion engines and gas turbine power plants, and third one is the hydroelectric power plant, and fourth one is the nuclear power plants, and fifth one is the combined operations of a different power plants. So in a combined power plants, we need to combine the two different types of a power plant. For example, if you have two different power plants, one is the gas turbine power plant and second one is the internal combustion engine power plant, that is the diesel power plants. So we can combine these two effects and we can generate the power. Okay, so that type of power plants are known as the combined operation of a power plants. And last thing is, the very important thing is, so we need to calculate the economics. So here in the unit 6 we are calculating the power plant economics, and also we can consider the environmental consideration of a power generation techniques. Okay, so this is the course structure. Totally 6 units we have, and the first 4 units we are discussing about various types of a power plant, and the 5th unit we are discussing about the combined effect, and the 6th unit we are covering about the economics. Okay, and next thing, unit 1. So our unit 1 mainly focuses on a steam power plants. Okay, so steam power plants and introduction of different types of resources of energies. So see here, sources of energy. So first, what is meant by energy? The capacity of doing work is known as the energy. So what are the different types of energy sources are available in a nature? So generally we have two types of energy sources are available. One is the conventional sources, and second one is the non-conventional energy sources. So what is meant by a conventional energy sources? So here, what is conventional energy sources means, we are using the energy sources from the long back, and all the conventional fuels are maximum of a fossil fuels. Examples of a coal, petroleum products, or natural gases. These are the conventional fuels we are using, or conventional energy resources. And second thing is the non-conventional energy resources. So what do you mean by non-conventional energy resources? So in a recent days we are using the methods are known as the non-conventional energy sources. So example of a solar power plant, biomass power plants, geothermal power plants, so etc. are known as the non-conventional power plants. So non-conventional energies are also known as the renewable energy sources. Okay, conventional energy sources are maximum of non-renewable and non-conventional energies are the renewable energy sources. Okay. And next thing, so what are the different types of powers we are utilizing? So see here, in this image we are seeing the different energy sources. So see here, especially we are seeing here. So first thing is the nuclear and other type of energy sources, and next one is the natural gases, and next thing is the coal. So first thing is nuclear. So this is the nuclear energy. Okay, so we are using the nuclear energy for generating the power. So nuclear energy is a conventional energy source. So by using of a nuclear fuel, we are heating the water. Okay, so how we can generate the power? First thing, so generally we know that water and power have a relation. So generally all of you know that electricity is generated by using of a water. So how we can utilize the water for generating the power? So it's a simple thing. We are not directly utilizing the water. So just we are using the water forces. Okay, here how the electricity is generated. So the electricity is generated by conversion of a mechanical energy. So first we need some mechanical energy. So how we can generate that mechanical energy? Directly water have a mechanical energy? No, water doesn't have a mechanical energy directly. Then how we can convert water into the first mechanical energy? Okay, so first we need to utilize the conversion of water into the steam format. Okay, so when the water is converted into the steam format, automatically the steam have a high kinetic energy when compared to the water. That's why we are using the water is converted into the steam format. So for that purpose we are using one boiler. So in a boiler we need to heat the water. For heating purpose what we need? We need some amount of fuels. So what are the fuels we are using for heating of a water? That is the main thing. So here we are heating the water by using of a nuclear fuel. The power plant is known as the nuclear power plant, means we are using fuel as a nuclear. And what about the natural gases? Here also same concept. How we are generating the liquid to the steam format. Here we are using the natural gas as a fuel for generating the steam. And what about the coal? So coal power plant also same principle. So here we are using fuel as a coal. So coal is burned. Due to the burning of a coal, it releases some amount of heat energy. So that heat energy is absorbed by the water, and that water is converted into the steam format. So that steam have a kinetic energy. So how the kinetic energy is converted into mechanical energy? That is the question. So here the conversion of a mechanical energy uses the turbine. Okay, so we need to utilize one turbine. So the turbine is a device which converts the kinetic energy into the mechanical energy. So everywhere we need the mechanical energy. So that mechanical energy is converted into the electrical energy by using of a alternators. So this is the history or procedure for a developing of a power. So in the every step you can observe that the energy is transferred from the one form to another form. Okay, so the first liquid energy is we are converted into the kinetic energy. That kinetic energy is converted into the mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is converted into the electrical energy by using of a device, generator or alternator. So if you can use any fuel, the main purpose of the fuel is the just heat the water. So that heat energy is generated by using of a fuel burning process. So these are the conventional fuels. Generally we are using nuclear energy, natural gases and the coal. So all this belongs to the fossil fuels. And next thing is renewable energies. What is meant by renewable energy? So already we discussed that energies are two types. One is the conventional energy and second one is the non-conventional energy sources. In a non-conventional energy sources, so we have solar energy. So see here, sun. So we are getting the energy from the sun, that is the solar energy. And second thing, wind energy. So by using of a wind turbine, we can generate the electricity. So that is the wind energy. And the same thing, we are getting the energy from biomass also. So biomass is nothing but living organisms, okay, plants. And also we need to extract the energy in the other form, that is a geothermal energy. So for example, this is the earth. So from in the earth also we have some amount of temperatures. So we need to extract the temperature At a high temperature, generally in the under surface of a earth, we have a water content. If the temperature is increases, automatically the water is converted into the steam format. So that's why we can utilize the heat energy of a steam and we can run the power plant. So these are the generally known as the renewable energy sources. So what we can do, all the things. So in the every function we are getting the electricity. So we can utilize that electricity directly? No. First the generated electricity is we need to transmit to the center, transmission center. So this is the transmission center. So all the energies are gathered at a one point based on the requirements. Okay. And from the transmission center to the that electricity is transferred to the consumers. Okay. So we need to utilize the power for a different applications. And one more, and also the important thing is the power consumption is directly indicates the financial status of a countries. So if you see, consider it, power consumption is very high for the America when compared to the other states. So that means automatically we know that developed countries have a high power consumption. Why power consumption is very high in a developed countries? So automatically if the developed country means they are using the advanced equipments always. So if you using the equipment means it reduces the manpower. So we need to utilize the some system. So system needs the electricity. For example, if you want to feel comfortable, you need to utilize a air conditioning system. So automatically air conditioning system increases the utilization of power consumption. If you want to save your energy for getting the water from the well, so we are using simply a motor. So that means we are using the excess amount of electricity. When we are using all the things, when we are using air conditioning, when we are using the motor system, so when we have a sufficient amount of money, at that time only we are including all the things in your home also. So that is the relation between the power consumption and the indication of a development states. Okay. And these things we are giving money to the everything. So these are the money returned back to the companies. Okay. So this is about a brief introduction to the energy sources. Okay. And next thing, so development of power in India. So up to now we are seeing that how to generate the power. So what are the resources are available in India? Okay. So how the energy is generated and in what way we are generating the electricity, we would like to know. How we are generating the electricity in India. So 50% of the electricity in India is produced by the steam power plants. Why we are using the steam power plants? So we have a lot of different types of power plants as we said. But other than that, we are using only a maximum amount of steam power plants because the single reason, so the coal is cheaper than the other conditions and the initial cost is very less when compared to the hydroelectric power plant. So these are the main sources, so motivate the people to utilize the steam power plants. Okay. And what about the power producing stages in India? So India is the third largest state or third largest country in the world for producing of electricity. At the same time, third largest country for consuming of electrical power. So that means we are also a developing country. And what is the max up to now installed capacity of electricity? So up to now, as per calculations of 31st December 2019, India have a capacity of 368.79 gigawatts of a power generation units. So simply see here, it's a steam power plant working generally. So what are the components here? The important thing of a power plant is the turbines, alternator. Okay, so this is the alternator. So this is the alternator. So it converts mechanical energy to the electrical energy, and this is the turbine. So what is the function of turbine? So the function of a turbine is it converts kinetic energy into the mechanical energy. So from where we are getting the kinetic energy? So these are the steam paths. Okay, steam flow lines. So from this we are getting the steam. Okay, so steam is directly strikes on the turbine blades. Okay, so that high pressure steam is starts rotating the turbine blades. Okay, and it gives the mechanical energy. So then next thing is the turbine is coupled with a alternator. So here we are getting the electrical energy. So in a power station, for example, if you consider a steam power plant we have, so what we can do with a steam power plant? So in a steam power plant, the first thing is we need a 4 important components. Okay, so among that, boiler is the first thing. So what happens in a boiler? So in a boiler, the liquid is converted into the steam format. So see here, power station is a power station in which the electric generator is a steam driven. So water is heated and it is turned into the steam format. What did the steam? So steam spins the steam turbine, and next which drives the electrical generator. So this is the functioning of a steam power plant. And next thing, so after passes through the turbine, the steam is condensed. So what happened after the condensation? For example, steam strikes to the turbine blade. What happened to the steam? So just the steam is expanded. So steam is expanded means the steam is converted into the liquid format. Okay, but not entirely steam is converted into the liquid format. Some amount of steam is converted. So remaining amount of steam is converted into liquid by using of a condenser. So condenser is a device which is used to conversion of steam into the liquid format. For conversion of a steam into the liquid format, we need to utilize a cool water. So we need to supply the cooling water also for this process. And one more important thing for a generation of up to now we are discussing about how we are generating the power. So what is the capability of India, and important thing, so how we can select the site selection for a power plant. Okay, so these are the some important factors affecting the for power generation site. So what are the factors here? So see here. So these are the 6 important factors. So first thing is we need the fuel. So availability of fuel is important. Okay. So if the availability of fuel is very nearer to the us, then automatically the transportation cost is very less. We are getting the profits. And next one is we need transportation facilities. So transportation facility is very easy. Automatically it reduces the effort to the transportation system. And next one is the availability of water. So entire thing is depends upon the water, because we need a large amount of water for conversion for producing the electrical power. So that's why we need to first thing we need to verify the availability of water is available or not. And also we are using the ash. We are using the coal. So coal is fired in the furnace. So after the coal firing, we are getting the ash content. So we need to remove that ash. Then only we can fill the fresh coal. Okay. So ash disposal system also very important here. And nature of the land. So we are using the different types of building constructions here. So that's why we need to see the land. What is the nature of the land? Okay. So we need a strong lands. And space area also required. So we need a large area for a construction of a steam power plants. So that's why we need to consider it. Space area and cost also very important. So when we are establish a steam power plant or any other power plant, so we need to consider these 6 parameters. Okay. So what are the components? Up to now we are discussing different types of components. So see here once again here. So boiler. So what is meant by a boiler? So boiler is a device which converts steam liquid into the steam format. Okay. So for example, this is the boiler. So how for a conversion of a liquid into steam format, we need to supply the fire. So this is the furnace. Okay. So from the furnace we are giving the heat energy. So that heat energy is absorbed by the water and it is converted into the steam format. Okay. and next thing is the superheater. So it converts to the steam. So boil point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. We are supplying the temperature of a 120 degrees centigrade. At that point, the steam liquid is converted into the steam, but it has some water content. Okay, so that's why we need to remove it, the entire water content. If the water content is present in the steam, automatically the kinetic energy is very less, and also it affects the corrosion problem of a turbine blades. Okay, so that's why we are using the superheater. So it increases the temperature of a steam, and it is converted into the dry steam. Okay, so after the dry steam, they are sent back on a steam turbine. Okay, steam turbine is a device which converts to the kinetic energy into the mechanical energy. So after that is connected to a generator. So generator is a device which converts to the mechanical energy into the electrical energy. Okay. So after this, we are getting the heat from the furnace. So at the same time, it removes the high amount of gases, hot gases. So that hot gases are releasing into the atmosphere directly. So that means we are wasting the heat energy. So my intention is we need to utilize that heat energy also. What is the exhaust gases heat? So we need to utilize that heat also for increase the efficiency of a power plants. So how we can utilize it? So simply we are using the air preheaters. So for a combustion process, we need air is an important parameter. So anyway we are taking the atmosphere air. Okay. So here we are using coal plus air. So that air is taken from the atmosphere. So maybe that air is somewhat heated by a exhaust gases. Automatically it raises the temperature. When the temperature of air is increases, the combustion efficiency is increases. So that is the main phenomena. We are using the air preheater is a device. And here also we have one more device, economizer. So economizer also same thing. For economizer also we need to utilize the heat from a exhaust gases. Okay. And condenser. So already we have discussed that. So this is the turbine part. So in a turbine, the steam is converted into the liquid format, but some amount of water is still available. So that's why we are using a condenser here. And by the condenser, it converts to the steam into the liquid format. And cooling water. For a conversion of a steam into the liquid format, it requires to continuous supply of water because heat is transferred. What is meant by heat transfer? So when the two different temperatures are available, then only heat is moving from one position to the another position. Okay. So that means here we have a high temperature steam. For heat temperature, we need to supply the simply cool water. So this is the cooling tower. And important circuits here. So generally we have 7 important circuits. The entire working process. So what are the 7? So first one is the coal supply. So that is the coal handling plant we need. And next one is the steam generating plant. So that means we are using this boiler here. And next one is the steam turbine. And next one is the alternator water feeding system. So we need to continuously supply the water to the boiler. Then only that water is converted into the steam. Water feeding arrangement. And next one is the cooling arrangement. And next one is the ash handling arrangement. So these are the 7 important parameters. So just see here. Okay. So the overall introduction, overall summary of this class is. So see here. These are the steam power plants. And steam power plants are operated by Rankine cycle. And the steam power plants have a highly utilizing due to the higher efficiency. And one more thing is it's a cheaper cost of a coal. And this is the layout of a steam power plant. So first thing is we are using the furnace for firing of a coal, and after that boiler water is connected to the steam that is connected to the superheater, and it is supplied to the turbine. Okay, so the turbine is connected to a alternator, and the turbine from the turbine condenser is connected, and condenser to the economizer because the cool water is sending back to the boiler once again. Okay, and here in this boiler the water is heated. From here, the main advantages of a steam power plants, and that we have several advantages. At the same time, we have a disadvantage also. So, what are the disadvantages of a steam power plants? So, see here, the steam power plants continuously emitting the gases. So these are emitting gases. That means it is continuously pollute the environment. Okay. So we need to minimize the environmental pollutions also. That is the one disadvantage we have. Here we have in a steam power plant, it causes to the more environmental pollution when compared to the other power generating techniques like hydro and the nuclear energies. Okay, so it continuously emits a large amount of emission gases, and also in a steam power plant, it requires a large area also, and also here in a steam power plant, so we are generating a high amount of electricity, but the thing is 50% of the energy generated in a steam power plant is consumed in the operations of a steam power plant itself, because we need to operate all the things. So that's why it consumes more energy. Okay, it up to 50% of the energy is utilized by the same power plant for working of a different circuit systems. So we have several circuit systems. So we see here total 7 considerations. One is the coal storage plant. Okay, coal handling system. Next one is the steam generating arrangement, and next one is the power generation, and next one is the condenser process, and next one is the cooling water arrangement, and last thing is the ash handling arrangement. So these are the 7 arrangements as earlier we have discussed that. So see here, one by one we can explain once again. So see here coal storage. Okay, so coal storage. So see here coal storage. So we need to store the coal and we need to supply the same coal to the plant by using of a coal handling plant. The coal is supplied to the furnace. In a furnace we are giving a heat fired the coal. From the furnace the heat is absorbed by a water in the boiler. Okay, so here we are using a furnace for firing of a coal, and it is absorbed by a liquid in the boiler. That water is converted into the steam format, but it contains some water content. That's why we are using the superheater. Okay, so this is the superheater. In a superheater, we are increase the temperature of a steam, and also here we have a exhaust gases. So the exhaust gases we are using for a superheating of a steam, so economizer, at the same time air preheating process also. Remaining exhaust gas exist to the chimney process. Okay, so this is the another more circuit, exhaust gas circuit. And also here superheated air is flowing on through the turbine. So the turbine is rotating. That means it converts the kinetic energy into the mechanical energy in this turbine. After that, the turbine in a turbine the steam is expanded, and the condensed expanded steam is reversed back to the boiler through the economizer. Okay. And next thing is, so here in an economizer, what happened? The economizer also consumes some amount of exhaust gas temperature. The remaining amount of exhaust gas temperature is utilized by a air preheater. So what is the use of a air preheater? In a air preheater, so we are heating the suction air or intake air for proper combustion rate. Okay, and here, so see here that air preheater, that air is here again supplying to the furnace for a proper combustion and increase the efficiency of a combustion. And next thing is, so condenser we have. So what is the condenser? Also the same principle here. We are using the condenser. It condenses steam into the liquid, and the steam is high temperatures. So that means we need to reduce the temperature also. So that is by using of a cooling tower, we can reduce the temperature of a water. So that system is known as the cooling water, and that cooling water is supplied back to the boiler, but some amount of water is wasted. So that's why we need to supply the additional water, excess amount of water, that is known as the feeding water. So we need to supply the feed water, excess water. So what is the amount of water losses? So again we can fill the same amount of water from a rivers, lakes or any other resources. Okay, from that we can again fill the boiler, and the same process is continuous. Thank you.